Hello, welcome to Marick Masters on Topic. Today's episode deals with Actblue, which is under attack. President Trump issued a memorandum yesterday, April the 24th, 2025, to investigate the Democratic fundraising online platform. I'm Marick Masters, Professor of Business Emeritus, commentator, and podcaster. You can find me at my email address and YouTube channel. We'll address these topics in today's episode. What is Actblue? How much money has it channeled into federal elections? What are the major concerns about Actblue's fundraising practices? What did a recent congressional report on Actblue find? What does President Trump's executive action on Actblue entail? What is smurfing? I encourage you to look at the sources which are provided in links in this presentation. I'm only going to cover the highlights. What is Actblue? There are numerous ongoing investigations in the media, Congress, and states attorneys general about Actblue's activities. It is technically, according to Influence Watch, a for-profit arm of the Left of Center Political Action Committee, Actblue, which is separately created and affiliated with Actblue Charities and a pass-through affiliate of Actblue Civics. You can also go to Secure Actblue, its own website, and find more information about the platform, which says that our online platform is available to Democratic candidates and committees, progressive organizations, and nonprofits that share our values for no cost besides a 3.95% processing fee on donations. What are the major concerns that have been raised from various sources about Actblue recently? Receiving straw donations, which are then transmitted as contributions to federal elections. These are fraudulent donations. Second, receiving donations from foreign nationals, which are then transmitted as contributions to federal elections. And an umbrella charge, inadequate procedures on verifying legitimacy of donors and their donations. What Actblue does is basically raise the money through an online platform that people contribute to, which is then channeled to the candidates and campaigns that the donors want it channeled to for a fee, which Actblue takes in order to operate its business. These major concerns are reported in various news sites. I encourage you to go to these news sites. And I encourage you in particular to look at a letter from Virginia's Attorney General on Actblue. It's actually addressed to Actblue. It's dated August the 2nd, 2024, and it identifies some of the concerns that they have about the fundraising practices of Actblue through its various affiliates. How much money is Actblue channeled in federal elections? Well, the answer to that, simply put, is a lot. In the 2024 federal election cycle, Actblue actually raised over $3.8 billion. This is billion dollars. These numbers are in billions. That was given in contributions to various parts of the federal election campaign. What did a recent congressional staff report on Actblue find? Today, on April 2nd, 2025, it was announced that the Committee on House Administration, the House Judiciary Committee, and the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform released a joint interim staff report titled Fraud on Actblue, How the Democrats' Top Fundraising Platform Opens the Door for Illegal Election Contributions. The staff report reveals that Actblue made its fraud prevention rules more lenient twice in 2024, even though there is extensive fraud on the platform, including from foreign sources. again referring to selected news reports, which you can go to for more detail. It is reported that Actblue, the Democratic fundraising platform, has collected millions of dollars for Kamala Harris, and that it's been named in a bombshell racketeering lawsuit, these are the reporter's words, by a Wisconsin Republican strategist who alleges his identity was stolen to make at least 385 fraudulent donations to left-wing causes. In another report from the same reporter, it's reported that Actblue, the Democratic fundraising platform, is facing criminal charges in 5 states over allegations that it fraudulently exploited unwitting donors to get around campaign finance laws. On April 24th, 2025, as I said earlier, President Trump issued a memorandum, which is reported on the White House website, to the Secretary of Treasury, the Attorney General, and the Counsel to the President on the subject of investigation into unlawful straw donor and foreign contributions in American elections. It specifically mentions Actblue as the target of this investigation, saying that there are malign actors seeking to evade federal source and amount limitations on political contributions by breaking down large contributions from one source into many smaller contributions. In addition, the memorandum goes on to say there is evidence to suggest that foreign nationals are seeking to misuse online fundraising platforms to improperly influence American elections. What is smurfing? One of the practices mentioned in that memorandum is called colloquially smurfing. It refers to basically money laundering, which can occur in a variety of different venues, but in this venue, it's through the federal election process. And a former federal election commissioner who is now with the Heritage Foundation recently wrote a column for Fox News in which he said, "What is campaign financing smurfing?" He defines it as a form of money laundering for campaign contributions. It involves breaking up large-scale donations in a way that disguises who the money is actually coming from, so that contribution limits on how money can be donated to a particular candidate can be skirted. In a separate report, it is noted that it may involve widespread mail-in wire fraud and the fraudulent use of identities of unwitting members of the public to violate federal and state campaign finance laws. I hope you will check this out about Actblue. It's a very important story. It raises a lot of money for Democratic candidates as an online platform. It's really a conduit. But its practices have been challenged by some who allege that they are legally suspect. And I would encourage you to do your own investigation. Although this is a Democratic affiliated organization, there may be a variety of others who have other political affiliations who engage in similar activities. So what we want to make certain happens in the administration of federal election laws and state and local election laws is that clever devices are not used to circumvent the limitations imposed by those statutes on contributions and who can make those contributions. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and stay tuned for more.